Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode here on the Oshay Duke Jackson main channel. I am your host, Oshay Duke Jackson. For those of you that are already in the chat, I definitely appreciate you being here. For those of you who are going to come in later after some time and watch the restream, definitely glad to also have you here too. Today, we have a very, very special guest that's taking some time out to come by the channel today. He's actually, before he reached out to me, it actually was subscribed to him already and had knew about his channel after seeing some of his really, really great viral videos. And we were able to collaborate with him about a month ago. Now, although the video was released last week, I was very, very glad to get that exposure from the person I'm going to be talking about, and that is Matt Tran of the successful, very, very highly touted Engineered Truth YouTube channel. And today we're going to be talking as a topic or a subject, how to supplement your current income by earning online. And I'm going to turn the floor over to him and let him introduce himself. How are you doing today, Engineered Truth?
Hey Oshay, and hey all Oshay's subscribers. I'm coming out with a cold, but still here. I've been making YouTube videos about careers for the past 7 years, and still running. And so in the beginning, I would talk more about college, but as I got older, I got tired of about talking about college. So now it's more about high income skills, online entrepreneurship, and everything related to the digital marketing space as well. Those are what I'm really into. And I'm here today to talk about how you can earn some supplemental income and maybe even throw in some perspectives that you've never seen before.
All right. Well, I have my pen and paper. I want to learn from one of the best. I saw some of the things you've done with Dan Locke and some of the other great influencers out there, man. So you really have a successful channel, many millions of views. So I'm glad you're over here today. Let me just ask you this, as you asked me when I was on your channel. I know that you're doing very well now. I see the very nice ambiance behind you. But talk to me about Matt. How did Matt get to this point? What were you doing previously to what you're doing right now in this part of your life?
My channel all started because I saw so many people go to college for dumb majors. Okay. Most of them are dumb, actually. And so I thought I was going to do the smart thing and major in engineering. So that's why my channel is called Engineered Truth, because I would tell the truth about careers. And I first started with focusing on engineering. When I first started my channel, I was all about engineering. Like that was going to be like, that's why I thought like everyone should go to college for. It's a really practical technical skill. And then I worked as an engineer intern. And I was like, okay, this job is really boring. Only this one. Let's just try another one. Let's try another one. So I tried another engineering internship. Really boring as well. Pay was okay. I was getting paid like $22.50 an hour as an intern, but pay wasn't great. And I saw my pay get stuck. My pay would definitely grow slow. And also the work was boring. The environment sucked. We were talking about like a really negative and nasty culture that a lot of engineering companies have. All three engineering jobs I ever had toxic cultures. So the culture wasn't good fit. The pay wasn't even worth it. And I wasn't even doing the interesting engineering that I thought I would be doing. So then my channel flipped the script. I became anti-mechanical engineering, and that caused a shitstorm on my channel. But I had to be true to who I was, and I can't promote a career that I wouldn't do myself. Like, how am I going to tell people to become mechanical engineers? But hey, I'm not going to do that. That's not very honest to me. And it's so funny that people get mad at me saying, "Oh, I can't believe I hate your channel. I hate that you're talking to people out of engineering." Look, man, there's nothing to stop you from creating your channel. If you want to promote mechanical engineering and inspire people to do that, that's up to you. But guess what? There ain't no channel on YouTube that's like inspiring people to do mechanical engineering because honestly, the real life of it is that it's boring. So along the way, eventually, I decided to quit engineering to do YouTube full time. I was only making like $200 a month from YouTube. Did that. For a few months, couldn't make it work, get any money. So I just got these different jobs doing product videos, making YouTube videos for different companies. But along the way, that's when I grew as a person, and I finally had a respect for business and a respect for sales and a respect for marketing. And that totally flipped the script of how I was raised. Maybe many of you were raised the same way, in that you're taught that if you ever sell anything, you must be that sleaze bag salesman. And we talked about your time at Tesla, having to follow up with people. And that's what people think when they mean salesman, And so, but for me to make any money, like I realized like I need to make videos that sell something. So it was selling in 2019, selling in the generation of like digital space, YouTube. And then once I cracked the code and learned how to sell, that's when I went from making a couple $1,000s a month from YouTube to earning like $10,000 or $12,000 a month, is when I started doing affiliate marketing and getting that sales funnel locked down. And that's why I respect sales, because before I learned sales, broke, struggling, couldn't make any money. Then I kept cracking the code, kept trying at it, finally got sales, boom, now I can make a living. Now, of course, I love sales. So that's why on my channel, we talk a lot about digital marketing. And so that's like the big journey there. But for me, like every year I wanted to learn like a new skill, you know? So I went along the way of creating my channel. I made a web developer bootcamp. I went to a web developer bootcamp. Last year I tried to make a job board, which failed. I had my own mastermind last year. This year I'm learning how to run Facebook ads. And so every year I'm like experimenting, doing new things. And I think that's what makes life exciting. And that's what gets me up every day. And I think that's what's fun. And I think that sure, like a lot of people out there, they'll get a job and they're happy with it. But when you think of your own idea and you're able to provide your own living for it, not even just a living for myself, but a living for the people that work for me, or also I'll also do some philanthropy. I go to the Philippines, I go to the orphanages there, and also help out some dogs too. So be able to like provide a living for myself, but to provide a living for others through an idea I had in my head, it's a very satisfying feeling. And so that's the summary of Engineer Truth.
It's a very, very good summary. Now, let me ask you this, Matt, because you're from the same state as me in California. Is that right? You're from California too, right?
I'm in Los Angeles right now.
Los Angeles. Let me ask you this before you kind of get into this, because a lot of people, obviously, you must have been a bright guy. You're an engineer. When you decided that you are no longer in engineering anymore, what was the people around? How did the people around you, your family and friends, how did they feel about you making this decision?
Yeah, nobody understood, especially when I decided to make that move 4 years ago. It was, well, I made the move when I had 5,000 subscribers, right? That's not a whole lot of subscribers to make that move to full time. And a lot of people would say like, you should wait till you have like a reasonable living. You're making a few $1,000s before you jump ship. I decided, like, given my current situation, because I had no kids, no rent, no bills, no mortgages, no car payments. And by the way, I put myself in that situation because when I was an engineer, I could have easily bought a car or got an apartment or got some bills, right? But I knew, like, as I was working as an engineer, man, if I jump ship, I need no bills to pay, because if I got bills, that's what's going to keep me at the job. So I didn't get any bills. Then when I got fired from my third engineering job, that's when I said, okay, like, let's move home and do YouTube. So I knew, like, given that current situation, I can't live off $200, but if I had current like 2,000, like living at home with my parents, that's more than enough. So that's the current situation that I was in. In terms of support, zero. Not a single person believed in the idea. And in addition, there's no other career channels either, right? So someone couldn't just say like, hey, there's this other popular career channel, so that the market exists, right? I was like the only one that ever made a career channel or realistic career videos on YouTube. Now there's like a couple other career people, but they're more focused on like climbing corporate ladder, which isn't my thing. So zero support, no belief at all, and yeah, that's just what it is. And then even today, I still hold some resentment toward my friends and family for not supporting me.
Okay, but you're doing really well now. So let me ask you this: I know you have a little resentment. I probably would too. How do they treat you now? Now that you're super successful and you're doing a lot of great things, what's their perception of you now?
They're supportive, but like, I mean, just like any rap song, right? You want your day ones. I mean, it's like it's easy to be supportive,
right?
If someone's already doing well. Like, oh, cool. Oh man, you're doing so well for yourself, and I like the praise. My family gives me praise now. My friends give me praise. Like, oh, you're doing so well. I saw your joint venture with Dan Locke. And I'm like, where were you when I was struggling? Like, where was this? So I just think that it sucks. That's just the way it is. But I think the moral of the story is, like, no matter what you're starting today, whether that's a Facebook marketing agency or your own e-commerce store, expect nobody to support you. And that's just part of the game. And if anything, it just makes you tougher. What do they say now? Yeah, they just give me praise. They think it's good. Like, they ask me some questions. I mean, they think it's amazing what I do, but to me, it's not really that big of a deal with what I do.
Let me ask you this as we started getting to more into your tactics and some of the things that you do and the course that you have. But at this point, you have 5,000 subscribers. You've been, and I know I talked to you about this on your on my interview on your channel. You got fired from 3 different engineering jobs. It was some toxic culture going on there, and then you have 5,000 subscribers on your career channel, and you decided to go full steam into YouTube. But at some point, you were struggling early on with not making any money off of it. What were some of the struggles that you were having initially after you decided to go full time into YouTube?
After I decided to go full-time into YouTube, I thought I was going to only make money from the ad revenue. So I was just trying to get more views because more views equals more ad revenue. But I soon learned that's a dumb game to play because you need to be getting a ton of views, hundreds of thousands of views, and only be making like $1,000 or $2,000 a month from the YouTube ad revenue. So, okay. So then I would do like brand deals, like brand sponsorships, right? But they would only pay like a couple $100s, but then I have to go after the next brand deal, right? So I'm spending half the time looking for the brand deals and negotiating, and only half the time is creating. So it's like almost twice as much work for a small amount of money. That's when I discovered affiliate links, which are links that I could put in my videos that attribute the sale to me. And the good thing about affiliate links is that most companies have affiliate programs. I don't need to talk to a human being at all. I can just make my account in their affiliate portal, grab my link, post it in my videos, and then now every time I get a sale, I get a commission from the sale. And now it's much more automated. So now all I have to do is focus on finding the right companies with good affiliate programs and then make my content. And now I skipped out the whole negotiating brand deals, and that saved me so much time because it now lets me focus on the content.
Let me ask you this, because now you went from learning how to do this to teaching people how to do it. So let me kind of play the devil's advocate, and let's say I'm somebody here that's listening to the podcast. And one of the reasons why I put supplement your income, because a lot of Americans, I mean, there are some people that are going to do what you did. And what I did, which is pretty much like drop what you're doing to go full into something right now. A lot of people are not like that. A lot of people kind of look into, okay, I want to maybe like supplement what I'm doing now. What if you're a person and I don't have any YouTube subscribers. I don't have a social media following, but I do want to kind of learn some of the skill sets. And I know that you talked about certain things you add every year, and I'll talk to you about that a little bit later. What do you recommend? Like, how does a person understand the online economy to see how they can, get into making money without any experience?
That's a great question, Oshay. What I recommend them to do right now is to go to empireflippers.com. Okay. So what Empire Flippers is a online business marketplace. So if you own an online business, you can put it up for sale on Empire Flippers. And the good thing about Empire Flippers is that they check each business before they list it. So they'll ask for all the details, all the logins. They'll ask for proof of income. They'll make sure the business is at least 1 year old. And then they'll also make sure that it's profitable, because they don't sell any online businesses that are in the negative. Okay. So when you go to empireflippers.com and you go through the listings, now you have an idea of how much an online business is worth, because you can see the price of the business. So it might be $30,000, but it makes $1,000 profit. Then you see some brief bio of the online business. And so as you're going through the listings, you actually get a taste of that's the beginning of how this whole ecosystem works, because we chose YouTube, but there's 9 other categories of online businesses that are also very viable. Now, I'm going to introduce people to a really secret world of online entrepreneurship right now. There are people where instead of flipping houses, they flip online businesses. So you can imagine someone who buys a fixer-up house, right? They buy a house that needs some work. They fix it up over a year, and then they sell it for a big profit. Flipping online businesses is exactly the same way. So someone would go through listings, and maybe their expert is search engine optimization, which is SEO. So they go through the listings and they find a profitable business where, for whatever reason, the business is really profitable, but the owner just has no idea what SEO is, or this is not his specialty. So then an SEO expert looks at that and they're like, oh my God, if I just applied my SEO skills to this already profitable business, we're gonna make this grow. So then they buy the online business, they apply their SEO skills, and then a year later, after they fix it up, just like someone would fix up a house and then sell it for profit, like a real estate investor, the SEO guy would sell it a year later for profit. And this is a whole world of like guys who are like, if they're like making $1 million a year, $10 million a year, because they're just sometimes buying $300,000, $400,000 businesses cash, fixing it up, and then selling it a year later for maybe $600,000 to $700,000 because of the increased profits. And so as you're going through the listings, that gives you a sense of what are your options, because to be honest, there's not like an infinite amount of online businesses for you to buy. Really, there's only like nine categories or so. And so first thing you got to do is decide what your specialty is. Is it going to be e-commerce, AdSense, SaaS, which is software as a service? Are you going to do like something like a YouTube influencer, right? You got to decide that first. The only way you can decide is by trying everything, because otherwise you don't know what fits your personality. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, if you can't put your back against the wall. So there's really two situations, right? You can either do it like the way Oshay and I did it, where we had no money but a lot of time, right? Because I was unemployed. In that kind of situation, when you have no money but you have a lot of time, you should create the business. But if you have no time but you have money because you have a job, you're an engineer, accountant, pharmacist, chiropractor, whatever, you have money coming in, I don't think you should start your own business. I think you should buy one that's already profitable. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about it, like that's almost like the do it yourself is great, but the time it takes is just too much. Like you're just better off. It'd be like much more efficient for you to just buy an online business that's already functioning, and then when the business is transferred to you after you buy it, there's usually okay. You always get one consulting call at least, right? Mm-hmm. to help you transfer the business. But in your negotiations, instead of asking for a lower price, you can say, hey, like this is my first online business. I'd like once a month call for like 6 months. And so you have this guy who made the business mentor you or like guide you as you buy the business from him. And that's like getting a real life education now that you have this business transferred to you. But the good part of though is that you've already adopted this working machine, and you get to see exactly how it works. So then you get the sense of like, oh, if you had to create a new one from scratch, you got that sense. Or like with the one you just bought, you can scale it with ads, or you can scale it with SEO. Like for me, what I plan to do is I go through the listings, and my specialty is digital marketing, right? So I'll go through listings and I'll find one where it's already profitable, but they're not doing any digital marketing. I'll look at it, I'll buy it, I'll make the digital ads, I'll scale it up. And then from there, I'll decide if I want to sell it or if I want to just keep running the ads to scale it up. And it's really that simple. So I picked my specialty, which was the ads, running ads, find the businesses, and then apply my specialty to the businesses that that lack that. And that's like a really big like difference from looking at online business like blindly, like going in thinking you have to make the online business from scratch, or like that's not a good way to do things. What's better is going to Empire Flippers and doing that route I just mentioned.
Okay. Let me do this for those people who are in the chat. We have a little over 104. I'm glad that you guys are here. Do me a favor and like the video. About 103 people right now online. So I appreciate that. And also for those of you that subscribe to Engineered Truth, I'll put his link in the description. If you go into the description, you subscribe to him, hit the bell, I will give you a shout out during the live stream, because definitely I appreciate him for being here and I appreciate you for being here. Let me talk about the digital marketing thing. That aspect of the, because there's YouTube influencer like what me and you do, but you do both, right? You're a YouTube influencer and you double down as a digital marketer. How did you figure out how to get into digital marketing as a career now? How did you go into that particular path?
It's funny because it's all accidental. When I was struggling, I couldn't make any money. Like I was making like $2,000 or $3,000 a month from my YouTube channel, all from ad revenue. This is roughly 3 years ago. A guy named Seth cold emails me. He's like, hey, I just came out with a course. It's going to get people jobs in digital marketing, and in a year they can earn $60,000. I was like, yeah, I've seen these claims before, but let's just bring you on the channel. We'll see what happens, right? So I bring him on the channel. He's a guest one time, and we start getting sales for the course. And like 3 months later, I start feeling guilty because I'm thinking, man, are people buying this course and no one's getting a job? So I asked Seth, like, yo, is anybody getting a job? So he sent me 5 testimonials of people that already got jobs from the course within 3 months. It's like, oh, really? And so I was like, okay, there's something here. But for the past couple of years, I've just been promoting the course, and a lot of people have been getting jobs. We have a whole playlist of testimonials on my channel of over 20 people that got jobs from the course, and those are only the video testimonials. We have like a bunch of written ones too that we never asked them to be a guest on my channel. So fast forward 2 years later, I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people become digital marketers, but I didn't know the skill myself. Then I ran into a problem. I realized every single idea I'd ever want to make in entrepreneurship, once you make your product, you need to advertise it. Otherwise, you just have a website that just sits there. And a website that just sits there is not making you any money. Mm-hmm. It's just losing you money because you had to pay for the hosting, or you had to pay for the software to run the website. Mm-hmm. So that was like, okay. And then I had the idea last year, 2018. I hired someone to run the ads for me, to do digital marketing for me. But none of the ads were profitable. We're losing money on all the ads. So I'm thinking, okay, well, this is not working. So I had to let him go. And now I'm thinking, okay, I realized that if you know ads, you really hold the key to making money.
Okay.
And when you know how to make good ads, I just took the course by Harmon Brothers. They're the people that made several viral ads like Squatty Potty. I'm sure many of you have seen it. If you haven't seen it, maybe you should just check out the Squatty Potty ad as soon as this interview is over. So I realized, like, holy cow, like if you know how to make good ads, and not just in terms of like setting up the ad in Facebook, but the ad itself, like the video itself or the content itself, the video, the image itself, there is not enough people in the world that know how to do that. And so all the companies that are the video production companies like Squatty, the Harmon Brothers, and anything like that, like they're booked to the max. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of companies want very entertaining ads these days because entertaining ads sell. Mm-hmm. And I realized, man, if I can make entertaining ads, like that's a huge, huge market, because you cannot fake that. As in, like you can't outsource that so easily, because the ads have to be written really well. There has to be jokes in the ad. That's already hard. Okay, to write scripted jokes is hard. Then you have to have the video production. So you have to know like the angles to shoot things at, the coloring, how to set up the shots. You got to hire the talents. You got to get the location. You got to do all this stuff, right? This is like really in depth. And then after it's all done and you got to like edit the video, then you have to actually make the ad itself. And the ad has copy, it has targeting. And so this whole process is so complicated that not a lot of people could do it. But once you master that skill, or once I master that skill, the demand for my work is going to be insane. Like it's just never going to end. Like I barely started promoting myself and I already have 3 or 4 clients. And if I do a good job, like they're going to refer me to their friends, and it's pretty much GG. Like it's funny that I run ads for myself, or I run ads for other people, but I'll never have to run ads for my own agency, because as I make these things and I do good work, like there's so much demand for it. Mm-hmm. that it just will never stop. Because if you think about it, companies need different things, right? But the commonality among all companies, they need two things. They need marketing and they need customer service, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can get good at customer service or marketing, like your demand for you is insane, because every single company needs it. It's like accountants. Accountants will never go out of business, because every single person needs to do their taxes, and even there's actually more need because every business needs to do their taxes. Same thing with marketing and customer service, like that. Those are 2 really good skills, and if you master those 2, I think you're never going to go hungry for sure.
Well, no, that's absolutely the whole entire truth. Let me talk to you about, once you and I want to tie this into learning a new skill, because I've tried to play around with Facebook ads, and it's been a terrible experience for me because I don't really have the time to do it. But you talk about learning a skill each and every year to add on to your current repertoire. What are some of the things that you're trying to do now in 2019 that you didn't master in 2018 but are on the list today, as far as trying to continue your business?
Oh, Facebook ads for sure.
Okay.
I mean, I think everyone, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you should have at least a basic understanding of how internet ads work. Otherwise, your life is going to be really hard.
Okay.
Or you're just counting on someone. Even so, the thing is, even if you end up hiring an agency to do it for you, because either way, you're going to be involved with internet ads if you want to be an entrepreneur in 2019. You're just not going to get around it because that's the only way to advertise. Okay. Now you can hire agency, and most business owners will hire an agency. But here's the thing: is like at the end of the day, you're the boss because you're hiring them, and if you have no context of Facebook ads, you don't know what kind of instructions to give them. And also, as I mentioned, like the ad itself has to be good. Now, if you have a product, we'll say like the Osmo DJI thing.
Like awesome. Yeah, it's like a GoPro, right?
Dude, this thing's sick. So this thing just came out by DJI, and I love the product. But say for example, you hire a digital marketing agency to run ads for you, but if you give them like a really crappy picture, that's the only thing they have to run ads to with, right? Because their job is just to run the ad. But what if you had a really good video? And you had a really good video with the ad? Of course, really good video is going to sell better than a crappy picture. So that's why the creative of the actual content ad really matters a lot. And so that's why in 2019, what I'm trying to master is creating the nice ad itself, the actual video itself. So in terms of list of skills that I'm trying to learn, number one, create videos that sell. And so I'm about to leave for the Philippines tomorrow because I've been hired by a developer there called Mega World, the real estate developer. And I'm going to make 3 videos for them. And it's a practice for me to make videos that sell. And if the video does sell a condo, then I get a 2% cut. So you imagine like you make this video one time and over the next couple of years, hopefully, if I do a good job, the developer should reach out to me like, yo, you got a sale today. Here's 2%, which is going to be like a few $1,000s. And it's always a nice notification to wake up, be like, yeah, you got a few $1,000s because it's work that you did one time. So that's it. And then I want to be able to run Facebook ads as well. So learning how to run the ads itself. And then those are the 2 main skills I want to learn. And along the way, this is really hard for business owners too. If you sell something high ticket, being comfortable with asking for a lot of money, because I think so often, at least for me and many other people, like you almost undercharge for your skills. So to be able to sit in a meeting and say like, yo, I want, $10,000 to make one video. And that's like, to me, like it's not even counting your expenses. So we'll see how that goes.
Let's talk about that. I know Dan Locke. I watched his channel before. You have some fans here, by the way. Shout out. I don't know if you ever heard of a guy named Zach Hing. Have you ever heard of him before?
Zach. Yeah, Zach has his channel. He talks about very political stuff, and he's blowing up on YouTube right now.
Yeah, man. He's been on here too. He's a moderator for me. And I remember I got him within this first 6 weeks. And let me see, has Zach passed me up? I'm going to start hating on him. Yeah, so Zach he's a moderator. I see him almost every day. He's an up and coming guy. He's out of California, just like us, but now he's in the Bay. Now he's in San Francisco. No, he's almost caught me. So let me talk to you about this. Dan Locke, who I seen him like 90,000 subscribers like a year ago, and now he's at like 1 billion or something. I don't know. He's up there now, right?
Insane, right?
Yeah, and we talked about too. He always talks about high ticket sales, being comfortable for asking for something for a high price and being confident and standing on it. Now, let's talk about that, because obviously this is something that you're doing. That this is your first thing, right?
What do you mean it's my first thing?
Well, I mean, first video that you're making for a company. And this, you've done digital ads before, but this is your first project and making a video for a company.
This is my second time working with them. So I made a video for them before, but it wasn't as good though. Cause at the time I was just messing around. I was like, yeah, let's just make 2 and then let's see where it goes. So I made 2 videos before and I sold like around 10 condos. This is round 2. Yeah.
Round 2. All right. Now let's talk about initially, because obviously you sold 10 condos the first time. So, now you're doing exceptionally well. Yeah. But what about the first time when you walked in and you had this meeting and they asked you for the price on this? Let's talk about the initial high ticket thing. Was it a high ticket situation at that point? The first time?
The first point, and this is a really good point to bring up. Sure. The first time I did it, I did commission only. I said, if this doesn't sell anything, you lose nothing. I lose everything. I lost my time. But if it doesn't sell anything, you lose nothing. So I think always the best situation is first time you work with someone, give them a you can't lose situation. So like I ran Facebook ads today for my friend. He's a real estate agent, and I still told him, look, I'll run your ads for free. All I want you to do is give me good testimonials and then refer me to your friends. And he's well connected because he's a real estate agent. They're very well connected people, especially if they're high performers. So I know he knows business owners because a lot of business owners buy nice houses. I know he knows a lot of other real estate agents. So what I think a lot of you need to understand, if you're going to do client type work, what you need is this is also Dan Locke teaching, but yeah, he's not the first one to discover this concept, but I'll use Dan Locke vocabulary. Okay, it's called a kingpin client. Now, your kingpin client is you want your first client or any client as big of a name as possible, and you don't want to charge them because you're only using them as a brand name. So, for example, I'm going to use Alex as my kingpin client, and then if I do a good job with Alex, that means when Alex has dinner with his friends, and someone asks him, man, my business, I know I need to get on Facebook, but I just don't know anybody. Oh, and then Alex is going to say, oh, well, I know somebody. Is Matt, and he knows how to run Facebook ads. Same thing with Mega World. When I first did the Mega World videos, which is for the condos, it's a 2% commission. If they don't sell anything, you lose nothing. Well, it's a no-brainer to say yes.
Right.
If I get you sales, I get my commission, we get the sales, and if you don't get sales, we lose nothing at all. Well, that's like a no-brainer yes. And so I did those 2 videos, and I got them sales, and now this time they're paying me $6,000 just to go to the Philippines.
Okay.
In addition to the 2% cut. So now I have Mega World as a kingpin client.
Okay.
And then if I do a good job with Mega World, everyone's going to see it because this world of real estate developers in the Philippines is only like 5 major companies, right? So they're going to see my work, right? The other agents are going to see my work. They're going to report it to someone. They're going to be like, yo, these ads are killer, right? Then they're going to hit me up. They're like, oh, I saw that you did ads for Mega World. We want to do ads for you now. But guess what? If I'm successful with Mega World, I'm not going to ask for $6,000 to do some videos. I'm going to ask for like 10 or 12 because now I have that reputation. Then once I do the 10 or 12 plus the 2% commission, then I'll ask for 20 grand, right? But getting that first kingpin person, you're not aiming for the money. You're aiming to get their name on your portfolio, and that's it. And the recommendation. And as long as you kill it, you'll always get recommended. Like even if and the best thing to do is get networked with real estate agents because real estate agents are really well connected. So if you can help a real estate agent out, which there's so many different ways, you can run ads for them, you can manage their social media, but really network with real estate agents because once you're in their network, they could tie you to hundreds and hundreds of people. Every single person, like if you think about it, every single person they ever sold house to has to be making like $100,000 a year, and that's just one house, right? So that's like the way to really network yourself in when you have like no brand name. And that's the problem where I see a lot of people trying to do client work. They try to like charge money when like you have no name. That makes no sense. Like you're not a trusted person. You probably don't even know what you're doing. So just do work for free and then ask for the referrals. And for client high ticket stuff, referral is still the best way. Like to run ads for something like what I do, which is like going to be high ticket videos, it could work, but really when you're playing that high ticket $10,000 a video, $6,000 a video game, it's more of a referral thing.
Okay. No, man, that's some straight up game. Got a lot of fans in the chat, man. Let's do this. 103 people watching right now. You got about 10 more minutes for me, Matt?
I got plenty of time. I ain't going
All
nowhere.
right. So, guys, listen, we have 129 people watching right now. 84 likes. Do me a favor, get the likes up real quick. Let me just shout out to a few people here. Shout out to Remove the Shackles. Extremely valuable information. Great show, guys. I know this is going to do pretty good on the restreams. Des Hollis, thank you for $10 for the super chat. And then do me a favor. What I'd like to do is I'm gonna let everybody know because Matt's in LA. If you want to comment below real quick, we'll take a little bit of time from the interview just to let you let us know where you're from. So, and next time if I was thinking, I would have put my call-in system so they could have called in, but we'll do it next time when you get a chance. Let me know where you guys are calling from or listening from, so that way I could let Matt know. Got 120 people watching right now, and so guys, do that. Let me do this while I'm waiting for the subscribers to do that, Matt. I want to talk about, you talked to me a little bit about some of the influencer workshops that you've been and how influential that's been. I know that some of the mastermind groups cost a lot of money and things like that. But tell me how that has really helped elevate your game to where you are now.
Yeah. I love masterminds. I attended Jabril's mastermind. He owns a YouTube channel called Passport Heavy. Many have seen it if you look up travel videos. If you type in like London, I think he's like the first video up because he posted a video of London. And so I paid $5,000 to go to Jabril's mastermind. It was just one weekend in Panama, and
$5,000.
$5,000. Guess what? Only 2 people went, me and another guy. But but it was so good because it's exactly what I wanted. Because the first night there, Jabril, someone that I look up to as an entrepreneur and also as a creator, because Passport Heavy makes sick videos. How many of you watch Passport Heavy?
Yo, yeah. The best, bro. And like his footage and camera team and 4K, my God, they're the greatest. Yeah, I'm a big fan.
I mean, so the first night he gets there, he lays out his whole life story, which he doesn't post on Passport Heavy because that's not what it's for. So he lays out his full life story. The guy's been selling on eBay before eBay even had like eBay ads. Like he said, like he was one of the first people buying things from a dollar store and then reselling on eBay for $20. And he's like he said he was one of the first merchants. Like he said, right when you could come out like with eBay, he was already on there. And so he just started from there, and then he was one of the first advertisers, marketers on AdWords. And this is pre-Facebook, of course. So that, someone's been doing ads and online marketing for that long, he's going to be really good. So now Jabril runs I think an 8-figure business with Budgetnista. I know many of you probably have never heard of Budgetnista because he only targets women. I'm not sure how many of your audience are women. Maybe some of the women here do follow Budgetnista. So he's the full behind. Jabril is a full behind the scenes person of Budgetnista. So Budgetnista is the face, and she's been on The View, and she is educating people on, especially women, on how to manage their money and what are their financial options. And she's making it cool for women to think about money, because thinking about money is generally a guy thing to do, right? Mm-hmm. So she's making it cool and easy for women to understand money. And so Jabril's like the behind the scenes guy. So I went to that mastermind and I met with him. We flew in a helicopter. We went on a yacht. I mean, it was sick. First time in Panama. But most importantly, masterminds expand your context of what's possible. And every year I also go to the Empire Flippers Mastermind. So at the Empire Flippers Mastermind, which is in Thailand, you have to earn at least $10,000 a month to go. If you don't, you can't come, unfortunately. And then you go there, and $10,000 is the minimum height, right? The minimum income. Right. So most of the people there are earning $1 million a year from online business. And so when you're meeting, that's the average for sure. And some people are there are earning like 2-3 million, and they're like my age. It's insane. But why I like going to the Empire Flippers retreat and all these masterminds is because, especially like more expensive it is, like usually the higher quality people that you meet. Mm-hmm. And so you go there and you're like, holy cow, like this guy is just like me, and he's earning way more money than me, and he's so chill, and it really expands your context of like what's possible. And it's also interesting to see other people's businesses, because most of them are not influencers. Like I'm the only influencer there. Most of them have like very e-commerce SaaS type businesses, and you don't get that kind of expanding your context unless you go to masterminds. And especially like after college, there's no way to like meet new people. So if you really want to meet high-level entrepreneurs, like all the high-level entrepreneurs I've met in the past 2 years were through masterminds. Otherwise, I don't know like how I would meet such high-level people. Like you're gonna do, like cold message someone like, hey, I saw your Instagram and like I want to be friends. Like that's stupid, right? Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to just go to a mastermind and be like, oh, so what do you do? Oh yeah, I run this business. Oh, me too. And we're both there. We're both in person, and now we can like communicate and be friends. And so for me, mastermind is about expanding your context, but also meeting really high level people that otherwise I would never found out about. Because as this may surprise you, not all high level entrepreneurs are on YouTube flashing their Lamborghinis, selling courses on how to start social media marketing agencies. Only some of them are doing that, and that's an option. But most online entrepreneurs are not doing that. That's like the other 80 or 90% of them are not doing that. They're just guys who are hidden. They don't even show their face on their website because they may one day sell the business, so they don't want to put their face on it. And yet they're making like $1 million a year. And that's just the secret world of online entrepreneurship, of Empire Flippers. It's like, and this is kind of a thing I want to touch on, is that a lot of people think that in order to be an entrepreneur in 2019, your only option is to be on YouTube, flash Lamborghinis, and to sell courses, right? And that's a option, but there's plenty of options that revolve around not doing that kind of shit and still earning just as much money.
Wow. Okay. Let me do this. Shout out to Elite Class Trucking. Really good show, Oshay. Yeah, I got to get Matt over here more often. So let me actually do this real quick. Guys, let me shout out to Paul Wilson. Thank you for being from Philadelphia. Well, not being from Philadelphia, being Philadelphia, watching Hand Sanitizer, New York City. Jordan D, London. Remove the Shackles, Cleveland, Ohio. Jigga from Timmy Yorsa, Romania. 9110, Texas. Zach King, Phoenix, Arizona. Bruce Taylor, Chicago. Plant Based, Dallas, Texas. 91110, Texas. Lolita in Southern California, Master Yip, Denver, Martin Walton, Little Rock. Thank you, Yo-Yo 103, Queen Anne, Miami. So thank you everybody for being in here so far. I just want to know is this, because you have like a really, really great channel. Everybody knows you. I mean, I know some people think like, because I pretty much deal with Black YouTube topics, and that's my predominantly my audience. But even here, people know like, oh my God, I've seen this guy before. I've seen his channel before. If people want to do, let's say, get one of your courses on how to do this, do you have particular courses or trainings that you do yourself for some of the work that you're doing?
No, funny enough, I don't have any courses. Maybe I have a YouTube course, but like I made it a long time ago, so I don't really want to pitch it, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I've learned so much over the past year about courses, and I've sold, we were talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of courses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've also gone through several courses, and I realized to make a good course is damn hard. And I don't want to make a course until it blows people's minds.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm capable of doing that. So I'm not making a course right now. For me, I realized that when you make a course, it's like almost like when you shoot a gun and it has to hit the bullseye.
Mm-hmm.
In that first time you make a course, a lot of people will include a lot of fluff information that you don't need. Then the second course that people make usually has too much information because you want to try to have everything in the course.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is that people get bored and then they stop tuning. They tune out before they ever implement anything. Then the third business, once people have reached a level of mastery, is they include just enough information for people to get results from the course. And that's really hard to do because you want to have as much information as possible, but you want to have the least amount of information as possible at the same time. Mm-hmm. So you had to hit just the right amount of information to make the good course. But also, in addition, what I've learned from Dan Locke and I've compared to Seth. So I sell 2 courses on my channel, and from both of them, I make like over $100,000 each for being an affiliate. So wow. on one side I have Dan Locke, and then the other side I have Seth. Okay, so Seth teaches people how to get a job in digital marketing, and then Dan Locke teaches people how to do high ticket closing. I sell both. Now Seth's course is all practical and it's very concise. But you know what's funny is that people are more satisfied with Dan Locke's course when I talk to them, because Dan Locke does personal development and transformation in the first 3 weeks of the course. And because of that, people feel more satisfied with the course because they feel like they've changed as a person. Even though Seth's course is much more pragmatic and practical and straight to the point and has more practical information, people still feel more satisfied with Dan's course because they bought the transformation, not the information. And that's something that's really hard to do when you make a course, is that people on the surface level are rationalizing by buying the course, but they also need to go through a transformation too. And doing that is pretty hard because some people, to give information is actually really easy. Because if I'm just here educating you about something I know, that's pretty easy. But to help someone transform themselves as a person, sometimes it just takes the right personality. So for example, like Tony Robbins, he can transform people because he has that like gift. But like I don't think Tony Robbins can teach someone that can like teach another person to transform as well as he can, right? Mm-hmm. So some people just have that transforming ability and some people just don't. I don't know, like if you're someone that's uninspiring, I'm not sure if you can learn how to be inspiring. You can probably, but it just takes a lot of work. So if I do make a course, it's going to be half transformational, half informational. But then when I market it, I'm not going to say you're buying this transformational journey, because that's not what people buy. People buy like something very surface level, like how to get a job in digital marketing, or how to get financial freedom. That's what people are buying. But really, to get them on that journey, to do it right, and you have to have them transform. Otherwise, they're not going to take the actions to do the next steps. And I realized like that's a really important part of courses. So for me, I think I'll make my course when I make like $1 million or like a few $100,000 outside of YouTube.
Okay.
And that's when I'll make my course. If someone wants to follow my teachings though, like they can always check out my live streams, which are always free to check out. They can watch my YouTube videos. They can sign up for my email list, Rich Friend, Poor Friends. It's a free video series that's actually, if I had to give a call to action, if you go to my channel banner, there's a Rich Friend, Poor Friend sign up button. You can sign up for it. You join my email list. You get 8 free videos of like how I compare my rich friends to my poor friends. And I thought about it after I went to the Empire Flippers retreat, and I was making friends who were earning $1 million a year. And then after the retreat, I would go home to Los Angeles right away. So you go from this environment from like high performers who are like, to them like, dude, like money's not even a concept. Like they don't really understand like why anybody would struggle with money, back to the people who struggle to make $50,000, and you go to that, like you just make one flight and you enter back into that world. I thought it was like such an interesting cultural difference between the two groups that I had to make a free video series about it. And so people can get that video series, Rich Friend, Poor Friends, by clicking on my channel banner. There's a button for it.
Okay. And guys, let's talk about that. So if you subscribe to Engineer Truth, which some of you have, and if you're subscribed to Engineer Truth, please comment below during the live stream. And I'm going to do this right now. If you go to his banner, if you go to the top right corner, there is, and he has a pointed right there, arrows, Rich Friends, Poor Friends. And if you click on that, and I'm there on the website now, I believe that you put your email in, you hit the sign up button. And once you do that, you'll get, it's like 9. Is it how many videos? 8 videos, right?
8 videos. It's 2 seasons.
Okay.
Each season is 4 videos. So there's a season 1 and there's a season 2.
Okay. All right. And so we have that here. Let me ask you this, and I won't keep you too long because I know you do have some time. But talk to me about. I mean, last time I talked to you, you're in this beautiful apartment, in the Philippines. This is when I first came to your channel. And you're telling like, yo, man, like I'm not gonna talk about how much it was because you just told me that privately, whatever. But it was a very nice place, and I get through the ambiance, I'm like, wow, this guy, I can tell he's happy, he's living his best life, and as a young man, as a young guy, you're helping some people change their lives. Tell me, how has this opened up? I mean, this lifestyle that you have, digital marketing. You're experiencing so many things that a lot of people never will. How does that make you feel when you wake up in the morning? Do you have to pinch yourself sometimes when you're experiencing the things you're experiencing in life, and money's not really an issue now?
Yeah, I want to touch a lot about that. That's a really good question. Every day I wake up and I'm grateful, and when I stay in the nicer places, I really want to talk about this transformation because it's really close to me. I grew up. I didn't grow up in like full poverty, but I grew up a little bit poor, just like many of you. Okay, and to give you context, like even when we would go out to eat at Denny's or something like that, my mom would tell us like not to get soda because she said it's like too expensive for what it is, right? So that to just give you context of our financial situation at home. So even when I started earning good money, I still held a lot of those values for a long time that I was really didn't spend much of my money at all. I didn't really buy nice things for myself. And even after I'm earning $12,000 a month, I'm still like stupidly frugal. Then I started following Dan Locke's advice, and he said he had his book F You Money, and that really changed my perspective about money. And then I realized if I start buying nicer things for myself, I start feeling better about myself. And this was a big change for me. This one sentence changed everything for me. I realized material things are experiences. So, for example, I stayed at that apartment you saw, and you can say it's a material thing, but I'm living there. Living in that unit is an experience, and I'm paying for not a material thing. I'm paying for the experience. So I had for the past like 10 years, I've always drove a shitty car. Like since I was 16, I drove a 2000 Camry, and that car was approaching 20 years old. Because it's 2019 now. And I had only bought a new car last year, which is when I bought the basic Audi. And I thought, this is a material thing, but the driving experience is completely different from driving a 2000 Camry. So when people say you're buying a material thing, you're buying Audi. I am buying the Audi. It is a material thing, but driving it is an experience. And that experience is how I start my day and how I end my day. Because usually people go to the gym. I go to the gym in the morning and usually end my day because I go for like a drive somewhere, or maybe go to IKEA or some shit. But it's the first impression of your day. You start your day in the car, you end your day in the car. And so as I started buying nicer things for myself, I started to feel a lot better about myself. I started to perform better. And I started to be more inspired, because when I was earning $12,000 a month, but I wasn't spending any of it, there's no motivation for me to work harder. I'm keeping more than half of what I make. What the fuck is the point to work harder if I'm only spending $6,000 a month at most, and I'm keeping $6,000 every month, right? What's the point? There's no point to work harder. And so that's when I would do like the 4-hour work week, 10-hour work week. And I was like, man, okay, this is interesting. And it was fun. And I had a blast. I was in the Philippines, traveling all Southeast Asia, getting shenanigans, drinking on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday. It don't matter, right? Having a blast.
Right.
Okay. But 2 years of that, which is a long time, like my income stays stagnant, because if you're only doing like the 10-hour days, the 4-hour days, like you're not going to grow your income very much. And so that's when I realized, okay, like I need to step it up. But every time I step it up, like I had no point. I was like, dude, what am I stepping it up for? I'm still saving more than half of what I make. What am I stepping up for? What doesn't make any sense, right? So I was like, okay, let's just spend more money, see where this goes. Okay, I started spending more money, having more fun in life, getting the nice condos, and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, now I'm motivated because I adjusted my scale to say like $12,000 a month ain't shit. Like, and that's how my scale adjusted. Now, I'm not saying actually $12,000 ain't shit. I'm just, in my mind, I want to say it's ain't shit so that I'm more motivated to work harder. Yeah. So that's how it all changed for me, and buying the nicer things for myself. It's it could be like a little rap video sometimes, but that's just part of the fun. And I just have a lot. I think that's like the meaning of life, honestly, is like just making money, blowing out on fun things, and being flashy sometimes, not too much. It's a ton of fun. And I think anybody that says like, oh, never like be humble, never like show off your wealth at all, dude, like you work really hard. Like you could take a picture of your car once in a while and post it on your Instagram. Like you're not hurting anybody, okay? Like you just want everybody to see your achievements, and that's it, all right? It's not that bad.
Yeah, no, definitely. So guys, I see here we have almost 120 people watching, almost as many likes as it is people watch. So almost everybody who watched the stream live.
Dang. Yeah, you have a loyal audience.
Yeah, and it's interesting because like maybe if this had been a little bit later during the day, it would have been like much more. Because I typically don't stream this early, but yeah, probably would have maybe had like 400 or 500 in the chat. So,
are you serious? Your live streams are really active.
Yeah, like on my other page, like when we go live on our podcast at night, it's like, I mean, 400's a bad night. So
400's a bad night?
Yeah, it's a bad night. On my Sunday streams, it's like, 900, 11,000, 1,100, 1,200, something like that. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Like I don't have like a huge audience, but I have a very active audience. So, and I have two different channels too. So that's the reason why it's sometimes kind of difficult. Running two channels is very, very hard to do. But if I had like one main channel, it would be like explosive. But because like I get like too many people trying to report me and shit, so I have to operate from two. So
yeah. You talked a little bit about my mental health a little bit there when you asked the question. You're like, you seem like you're a really happy, well-adjusted guy, and it's good. It's good that I seem like that on a surface level. But for like the last I would say like since I was a teenager, I would, maybe you do this too, or when I say you, I'm talking to the audience. Like I would always flash back to my regrets, like major mistakes in my life, like probably like every hour, different like flashbacks, but like quite frequently, whether that was like ending a relationship that I shouldn't have ended, whether it was someone that bullied me, whether that's someone that made fun of me, whether it was, any kind of mistakes I would make, and I would like hold on to that regret. And I would like think about it like even years after the event, right? And I would do this a lot, like especially like working out, because like I would want that extra push to get the extra rep. So I would think of like all the people that have wronged me, all the people that have made me like super mad. And then a month ago, I just snapped. Like I snapped in that I was like, why the fuck am I still thinking about this shit? Like it happened years ago. There's no point in thinking about it because I know like when I'm feeling really light and I'm charismatic, my charm is insane. Like you take me to a social event, when I have that lightness about me and when I'm feeling good and I'm feeling talkative, if I go to a social event or if I talk to a girl, it's over because I'm so fun, I'm so light. I like people can't help but be around me. But when I kept cycling to those moments of times I was wronged, and sometimes it's racial, sometimes it's because I'm short or because I'm bald, not really, but like, you know, maybe because I'm bald or whatever it may be, right? When me cycling back to those events was like just chipping away, making me more of an adult. And you know what I mean? Like that adult that's just like, well, this is how things are done. And like this is like the work is work. And I was like, fuck, like I'm becoming like a normal person, like a normal, angry, everyday corporate person who just like is so bitter. I mean, you see them in the Facebook comments saying shit like, yeah, that's how life is, or you don't know the meaning of hard work, or like just being really sour to people that you don't know. And then I realized like I'm just gonna keep a lightness about me. Stop thinking about any of the mistakes or anything the bad shit that happened to me in the past. Anybody that wronged me, they've been forgiven. I hope they're doing real happy. They're doing well now. I hope they're happy. And I want to move up with that lightness through my life, that charisma with my life, and just smile. And I know Zach, he talks a lot about those political things. What I gotta warn anybody that involves with themselves with MGTOW or any of the privilege or feminist kind of stuff, that stuff, when I see it on my feed, I just hit unsubscribe, unfollow, because I don't want that energy to affect me. I don't want the energy to affect me. Actually, you know, on the surface level, I agree with a lot of Republican values, but I hate the rationalization for it and the way they word things. It's like the energy from it. I'm like, oh, like it's so fucking dirty. Yeah. And so even though like I actually agree with Democrat, I'm moderate, right? Even though I actually agree with Democrat policies a little less because I don't know, I believe in just being fair and like people taking care of themselves. I like the way that Democrats word things in that it comes from like, you know what? We're gonna help people that need help. Now, sometimes it doesn't make sense, but I like the energy that it comes from saying, you know what? The people that have more are going to help the people that have less. Now, sometimes it doesn't make sense to do that, but I like the energy that it comes from. And anytime someone is like MGTOW or anybody talks about like the disadvantages of being Asian or something like that, or anybody complains like me, hashtag me too, I'm like, oh, the energy that it comes from, like, like, look, I'll leave the audience with this. Like, I don't have like the worst disadvantages in life. Like, I'm not like decrepit. Like, I don't have a fucking bulging chest or like my face not deformed. I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm functional, right? But I'm also really short, 5'5". I'm Asian in America. I'm also bald. But in addition, I've been able to earn way more money than most people. And because of my clout and by clout, I mean like fame, okay, just to make it easier for people. Because of my fame, the flexibility of my schedule, and to be able to earn like hundreds of thousands of dollars, I've been able to date like really hot women. So despite like any kind of like born disadvantages I might have, like I've been able to still live like a much more like enriched life and like much more fulfilling life than someone who's born a model into a rich family. And I think for me, that's the fun part, because essentially life threw at me hard mode. Like I didn't choose hard mode, but life threw at me hard mode, and I'm going to play hard mode. But guess what? I'm going to play hard mode and I'm going to beat everybody. And that's my mentality. Sure, if I was born a model, born to a rich family, had a dad that could get me into Yale because of his connections and got easy mode, that would have been nice. I would have taken it. I would appreciate it. But that's not the cards that I was dealt with. I was given hard mode. And guess what? I'm going to play hard mode and I'm going to shit on the people that were given easy mode. And I'm going to make them feel like ass. Dude, all my friends who are taller than me, like I do better with women than them also. And all my friends who like had that advantage, they look like CEOs. I still make more money than them. So even though I was given life on hard mode, I'll still shit on you. And so that's the mentality that as a man you need to have if you want to be successful in 2019. Don't look at your one disadvantage, whether that's your race or the location you're born or how much money your parents had, and then use that as an excuse.
Exactly.
Because no matter what situation you're born in, someone else was given a much harder situation. They succeeded. And like this whole like MGTOW and like blaming women because women don't find you attractive. Stop that shit. They don't find you attractive because you suck. Not because the women suck, because you suck. So stop sucking, make a ton of money, get some clout, and then put yourself out there, take some nice pictures, get a $140 suit from Thailand, take some pictures. Oh, dude, by the way.
You get in Bangkok?
Bangkok, Phuket. So anyhow,
Phuket, okay.
Get yourself to some swag suits and just kill it out there. And it's also more impressive when a guy given all the disadvantages does well. See, if a guy was given all the advantages in life and he does well, nobody gives him any credit. Kind of like Trump. Trump was born from a real estate developer, a millionaire. He's given $1 million. So no matter how well Trump does, no one gives him credit because like he started off up here. So you're going to go up here, you're going to go up there. It's like nobody gives you credit. But you start down here, you know, poor or short or Asian or whatever, and then you make it, you do that, people give you mad respect because they acknowledge the disadvantage. And that's fine. That's to me, that's really cool because I get more clout for achieving things than someone that was given everything. And you should get one of these suits. These suits are sick. I actually picked the color scheme, by the way.
You got it. So yeah, I heard like Bangkok is really good. Bangkok or Thailand. Maybe like a lot of I heard like a lot of like, you know, Indian or Pakistani like tailors are there. They do like a really good job. I'm not sure if that is that true or.
So, you know what's funny is I'm on vacation, right? As in Phuket in Empire Flippers retreat, and this guy, he's just standing on the street, like trying to get people for his tailor, his shop. And out of all the splurge things to buy, I was like, let's just buy suits. So I had been studying under Dan Locke. I was like, I need some new suits. So I gave the guy a try. I was like, okay, I'll get 2 suits. And like, I was like, man, these suits are gonna suck. Like these suits are gonna be ass because they're just like $150 each. And he did them, and I was like, damn, this suit's pretty nice. But also, I like that, like, because so I got to pick the color schemes. Like I picked the fabric and I picked the lining too. And I was like, dude, this is dope. Like I get to pick the color scheme. There's an Empire Flippers shirt too, by the way. I'm trying to rep them. But I had to pick everything, and I was like, this is cool. Like I really like this. So a lot of them are Thai though. So Thai, if you go to Thailand or Vietnam, you should absolutely grab a suit. But if you do grab a suit, keep in mind it does take them like a few days to make it. So if you arrive in Vietnam, you're only gonna be there for a couple of days. Make sure you go on like your first day, get measured, give them some time to do the suit because you actually got to go in back 3 times. So you got to do the measurements, the fitting, and then like the final product. So you got to go 3 times. So just a heads up. But like, yeah, I know some people are all about those expensive suits and, you know, Armani, whatever. Dude, you will never tell the difference between this suit and Armani, to tell you the truth.
All right. So, and you're going to be back in the Philippines. You're leaving tomorrow or today?
Tomorrow night, I'm going back to the Philippines.
How long are you going to be there for?
3 weeks. And you went to the Philippines too. You made a video about it before, didn't you?
No.
You interviewed someone. You interviewed someone.
Yeah, I've never been to the Philippines. I've been to like, I don't know, Brazil and Africa and places like that, but I've never been to the Philippines. Although I'm gonna probably stop by there. You typically stay in like Manila, right?
I always stay in Manila. Yeah.
How do you like living in the Philippines in comparison to living in the States?
Yeah, that's where I have to watch my words really carefully, huh? So
okay.
So what I like about going to the Philippines, and I think this could hold true for everybody, is I think everyone should take some time to live in a culture outside of America. And this is actually going to reach with, is Zach still in the audience? Zach, give me a heads up.
He's here. So
I think when you only live in America, you would see like being born, I'm talking about Asian because that's what I know, okay? So being Asian in America, like you feel like you have all these disadvantages in life because, you know, women don't find you attractive here. Like in the media, you know, you're usually the joke or something like that, or the nerd. And you think, oh, being Asian is being a disadvantage. When I started traveling internationally, I realized that everything in life is fair in the end. if you can find a way to make it fair, except for very rare things, like if you're born with some kind of terminal disease, that's fucking sucks, and there's nothing you can do about that.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like when it comes to like being Asian, when I went to Southeast Asia, my phone blew the fuck up. Like as soon as I landed on the plane, no matter which Southeast Asian country it was, even Singapore, like my Tinder Bumble thing just blew the fuck up. Like it was insane. Like I remember, I know, like I've been a few times. I know it's gonna blow up, but like sometimes it even surprises me. So on Bumble, which is a dating app, like if you get Bumble Gold, you can see like how many people have already swiped right on you, or how many matches have waiting because they already want to talk to you.
Wow.
So I have Bumble Gold, and I turn off airplane mode on my phone. Okay, so I had just barely landed. I'm still in the plane. I had just arrived in Manila. I checked my Bumble, and then over 40 women have already swiped right on me. Like,
oh my god!
And I was still in the fucking plane. Like I haven't even left the plane yet. Yeah, I remember after my first visit to the Philippines for 3 weeks, I already had 300 women swipe right on me, and like that was pretty insane. Like this was like 300 women in the queue. Yeah.
In the queue.
It's like 300. Yeah. And that's when I started looking at like psychology, and it really changed my opinion. I was like, it's very interesting that I could come to Los Angeles. I get like no matches at all, right? Like very, very seldom do I get like a really good match. Then I take the same person, the same product, right? And I just go to a different location, and then I sell like crazy, right? Like it's just insane. So it's very interesting because when I'm in the Philippines, it's so weird because I ask myself like, okay, is it because I'm American, or is it because I look good to them? And that's something I ask myself. I think about all the time. Like, is it because I'm American, or is it because they find me naturally attractive from what they're used to growing up? Because the media they consume, their movies have, guess what? Their stars are Filipinos, and so they kind of look like me. So are they more adjusted to my look? Is that why they like me, or they like me because I'm American?
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting because most of the foreigners in Southeast Asia are white guys, right. And so surprise, right? Okay, so
same thing in Africa, man. Like it's the same. It's true. You go to Africa, it's the same place, same thing.
Yeah, so it blew up. But also besides like the dating, so the dating is like insanely different. But also like in terms of like what it means to be human, they're just so nice. Like even when I met Filipino guys, I would hang out with them, and like they would invite me like, oh yeah, do you want to come out with us? Like we're gonna go here. Like do you want to come? Like we're all gonna go. And so that whole like alpha male, like this is our group. We're like we don't talk to your group. Hey, what's up? Like blah blah. That culture, which is a very American thing, like doesn't really exist as much in the Philippines. Like Filipinos almost never get into fights. It's like not their thing. Whereas like if you go clubbing in like Los Angeles or New York, here there's like fights every night. So it's very different. It's a much more like tight culture. Right. But also, here's the things. The Philippines is a very feminine culture, in that one of their favorite pastimes is singing. So in a way, also the Philippines had a woman president in the 70s or 80s. So the Philippines is actually closer to what I call like a gender. I don't want to use those kind of words. Basically, men and women are equal there, more equal there than the U.S. Okay, but the way they achieved that was not through hashtags, surprisingly, right? It's through like cultural stuff and like through a lot of, I don't know, like women actually doing things. So over there, it's common for the oldest daughter to be the breadwinner for the whole family.
Wow.
Yeah, because the parents are so poor that they kind of put all their money into trying to get the first daughter to, or the oldest son or daughter. It really doesn't matter to them, but for whatever reason, the culture in the Philippines, it's kind of often for guys to be useless, to be honest. Not all of them, but it's for whatever reason compared to America, like American guys work really hard. For whatever reason, like culturally, like a lot of guys in the Philippines, they end up like just spiraling down. Like we talked about negative energy, they spiral down into video games or being on Facebook all the time, not getting shit done, not doing what men are supposed to do. And then the women have to take that role. But because they take that role, they're the breadwinner. Guess what happens when you're the breadwinner, though, right? You're the one making the shots.
Yeah.
You're the one that says, no, this is how it's going to go down because I'm the one paying for shit. And then what happens though, is that because they have that breadwinner mentality, that leader mentality, more of them are become CEOs and presidents of companies. More of them start their own blog. Like they're active. They're actually going out and doing shit. And so that's how you make genders equals, by women doing shit. And unsurprisingly, like there's no substitute for that. So when I saw that cultural difference in the Philippines, that's when like this whole like, feminist stuff, like you're not going to hashtag your way to equality. It's just not going to work. And so when I saw like a different way that a woman can be, like a woman can be hardworking and nice at the same time. I didn't fucking do that. Right. So there's all these things that I learned what it means to be human in the Philippines that I would have never saw if I lived in America. And that perspective honestly made me so much happier in life, because if you only stayed in America, if I only stayed in America, I would have never reaped the benefits of being Asian. Because when I'm as an Asian American in Southeast Asia, I reap so many fucking benefits. It's retarded. Like it's a stupid amount of benefits, and that's something that's very unique as an Asian male that you get. But you don't unlock it unless you actually go to Asia and you see it for yourself, right? Because you're kind of like different. You're like Asian, but you're American, and so people are a little bit naturally curious about you. So that's a long answer to your question, but I have so much to say about that. I honestly, I could keep going. I have like so many stories, man, about like the differences, and like, man, let me tell you, guys that go to the Philippines usually don't leave. Usually do not leave.
I hear a lot of Americans, especially like even some of the the African American guys. I mean, most guys will even go to to the Philippines before they even go set foot on Africa. Like I know, like Brazil, the Philippines, Dominican Republic. Those are like really big spots.
They're not that racist in the Philippines, particularly in the Philippines. Like I think a lot of African Americans, they worry like because they hear like rumors about Asians being discriminated against African Americans, and I would say it's not as true as people think now. In 2019, it's not. The ones that are actually more racist, funny enough, I'm not sure why this is true. I'm not gonna make a reason for it, but Asian American adults. When I talk about adults, like the generation that migrated here, for whatever reason, they're like the most racist. But like the people that are like in Asia, like if you're in Thailand or Vietnam and you're black, they just think, oh yeah, he's a tourist. Like, oh yeah, here's hi tourist. Like, and they're just gonna treat you like any other tourist. Right. And like they don't see like, oh, he's black, like, oh, he's scary. Like, no, it's not like that. It's like, oh, he's a tourist. He's probably from like America or some shit. He has like money or whatever. Exactly. Like they just treat you normally. And especially the Philippines, like the Philippines doesn't care if you're black or not. They just think you're a guest in their country. They're pretty nice to everybody.
Yeah, a lot of people keep going. So
by the way, I want to add that, but like at the same time, like here's what I don't like is like someone will dress like all shitty, like scary and shit. Like they'll be like all wearing their pimp rings and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, people are discriminating against me because I'm black. No, people are not discriminating because you're black. People are discriminating because you're wearing all this stupid ass shit, and it's scary, dude. And then anyway, every race is like that. Like don't wear dumb shit and then blame it on like some. Thing is, people are bad at attributing why they're being discriminated against. Because, like, I mean, sometimes I go to the Philippines and like this Nigerian guy would come up with all his fucking jewelry and his fucking all this shit. I'm like, yo, you're scaring me, man. Like, I'm not, like you're scaring me with what you're wearing, not with who you are. But you're wearing all this shit, looking like some sort of like drug kingpin. Yeah, you're gonna scare me, man.
You know, it's funny you said that, right? Because like in Colombia, I did a video with Colombia Anita. And she says the same thing, like guys who wear, let's say if you wear like flip-flops, like people think that you're like a homosexual, or I mean Dominican Republic, if you're a guy that wears like shorts, people think you're gay. It's just crazy how like what's accepted in one culture and to someplace else is like totally offensive and you look like crazy, you know? And I've noticed that for just the places that I've been, that you can really offend somebody by just kind of what you wear, but you just don't know it.
In the Philippines, they hate flip-flops. They absolutely hate flip-flops.
Yeah.
They associate flip-flops with like being really poor. And so like in California, we wear rainbow flip-flops all the time. Like that's just like what you wear during summer. Yeah. And in the Philippines, like they say no to flip-flops. So I agree, like, you know, what you wear matters so much. And At the end of the day, that's why I'm so glad that I started learning from Dan Lok and HCC, because it started getting me to dress better, or at least dress more my age, and not dress so much like shit. And I've spent like a couple $1,000s like last year on clothes, but like you buy it one time, you use it for a couple of years, it's well worth the money. It's not that much money in the long run. And I just do H&M and Uniqlo, and that's good enough. And they're affordable for everybody.
Yeah, H&M is a very, 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 very good brand.
Would you live? Wait, I have a question for you. Like, would you live in Africa long term?
Would I live in Africa long term? Jesus Christ, it feels like I'm living there now. I've been there like, I don't know, 3 times in the last 60 days. But I'll tell you, it depends on what country you're talking about, and what city. Like Johannesburg, South Africa, is like probably amongst my favorite, because it's a first world city in a third world country, if you can say that. I really like Kampala, Uganda, but the things about it is, access to healthcare that you need. You're talking about access to high speed internet. You're talking about, so there are things that the cities that I've been to, like Dar es Salaam is pretty good. I like that place too, but it just depends on if I feel that the country is looking to develop certain things for entrepreneurs. Like, for example, I know like Bali is really good for digital nomads and stuff like that. So I think like Johannesburg, South Africa right now, for someone like me, is probably everything I can get what I need. Like if I need to get certain camera equipment, I could just go to a store and I can get it. Versus, if you're in Kampala, Uganda, you're not going to get any of that stuff. Nairobi, I've been there. I don't think I could live there. City's a little bit too, I don't really like that city as much, but I do like Johannesburg, South Africa. I do like Dar es Salaam. I could live there long term if those countries start to get like, a little bit more development. I think they're like, Kampala's changed a lot since since I first got there. So I long term could probably live there full time if there's improvements. But as of right now, probably what I'd be looking at long term is like Joburg. Johannesburg is like almost like living in Los Angeles or New York City. So I could definitely live there right now. It's affordable and everything.
I feel happier in Africa than in America.
Do I feel like I'd be happy?
No. I mean, are people happier in Africa than Americans?
I think it depends on the country. If you're someplace like Johannesburg, I mean, it's a metropolitan place. So yeah, people on their phones, people doing this and that. I think that the culture is very much big city. If you're in a place like Kampala, Uganda, which is a big city with more of a indigenous kind of feel, I think that people tend to be much more happier because, everybody's poor, but, for the most part, I think people are more friendly. It's definitely more of a face-to-face thing. Like in America, we're so busy at being on our phones and stuff like that. We kind of forget how to interact with people and how to have fun with people, how to meet up with people and stuff like that, and how to just say hi, bye, and how are you doing today, and things like that. But that art is still not lost in Uganda. It's not a lot lost in Tanzania. That kind of face-to-face friendship or kind of face-to-face talking to people and social, that's still there. And I like that. I like that part. When you're in Europe or if you're in the United States, it's kind of just like, I got somewhere to be and stuff like that. Life's a lot slower there, and people tend to value their times with their friends, their family, and stuff like that, strangers and things. So I do like that aspect about being in East Africa. But I think like South Africa is a little bit more like the West, and then so I don't really get that vibe there. I feel like I'm just somewhere else in the States.
Yeah, I noticed when I compare how happy people are in the Philippines or anywhere in Southeast Asia, they're usually much happier than people from America. And this is just true for any developed country. I'm picking on America because I know it best, but I know Singaporeans are very unhappy from what I know, and it's because they're working all the time. Exactly. So it's very interesting. It's like nicer the country looks on the outside, less happy the people are, which is so weird because Singapore is one of the nicest countries. It's like clean. It's actually ranked as, I think, the cleanest and safest country in the world. It's like people follow the rules. Like gum is not allowed in the country. You go on the subway, you're not allowed to bring durians, which is a smelly fruit that nobody likes. like people actually follow the rules. Are you laughing because you tried a durian?
No, I'm just saying because the way you said it, like a smelly fruit that no one likes. It's called a what? A durian?
Durian. It's awful. It's just smell like shit. I don't know why anybody would eat it. So,
oh my god.
It's very interesting but on the outside, like Singapore is perfect, right? But on the inside, people are just dying inside. And I go to the Philippines where the minimum wage is $300 a month, and then people there are happy, like, and they have like nothing. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody has moments of unhappiness, especially when you're really poor and you got to like ride up this shitty jeepney or this shitty bus to go to work every day. But like, I mean, for the most part, in terms of like connectedness, though, like what you're saying, and that Americans forget how to sit with the audience, like, and connect with people, meet with them on a weekday, get drinks with someone on a weekday, just say hi. As Americans, I feel like we feel like we're too busy for that, right. or like, oh, I'm so tired from work, or oh man, like a weekday, I'm not gonna go on a weekday. In the Philippines, they don't care, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, whatever, like whatever day, like they'll go out at least for a couple hours just to do something social. And I think that's so important because when I was working, I would just go to work, then you go home, you're just like by yourself or maybe with one roommate, you watch TV or you just maybe go on your computer and then you go to sleep and you go to work the next day. You're pretty much only at work, and that is pretty depressing, especially if you don't like your job. And to be able to do everything every day, a social thing every day, is really important for mental health.
Yeah.
I lose it, honestly, if I don't talk to someone or do something social after work. It just drives me insane.
And that's something that I've noticed, like, well, in Poland, I guess it's a little bit more like that. I mean, I don't speak Polish, so I'm kind of like more of a kind of to myself. But when I'm able to go out to, like, some country in Africa or something like that, I definitely get exactly what you're saying. So I definitely probably, I actually have a project right now that I'm working on, trying to get there a little bit more full time as my project ends. Voltron wants me to ask you, what are your plans for Chinese New Year's will be?
I'll be working in the Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll be working in the Philippines for Chinese New Year's, which is like 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not a big holidays person, honestly. Like New Year's passed, I think I was just at home. So.
All right. I guess the question is, we had 147 likes. I guess
any questions from the audience?
Yeah,
I'll pick some questions from the audience.
Any questions, guys? Make it quick. All right, guys, make it quick. We'll have all day to be dealing with you people here. All right.
By the way, your retention for like, if you have like 400 people watching your live streams during peak hours, that's a lot of people, man.
Oh man, if I would have opened up the calling queue, it would have been crazy. Probably had a lot of callers. People would have been, asking questions. I just got to figure out how to do it.
Let me figure that out because I'm interested in setting that up too.
Okay. So the one question is, and guys, I'm just letting you beat the system today, but typically what you need to do, right, for questions. Will he retire outside the United States or plant-based?
Will I retire outside of the United States? I still like coming to the United States because I want to see the culture here too. So America is a great place to get things done. If you want to start a business, I really think America is still one of the best places because our tax laws favor entrepreneurs. It still favors business despite, some changes. But in terms of like tax laws, our tax laws do favor businesses and business owners because we get to write a lot of things off here in this country versus being a European. I mean, and when I was a kid, I like fantasized about Europe and like it sounded so cool because you study in history. But you look at their laws toward employment, man, they protect the employee a little bit too much. And that makes it hard for business owners. So I always like to come to America for the cultural, just to like see my friends. I love America. I still have a lot of fun here. It's just a different type of fun than in the Philippines. Here, it's more, I would say, wholesome. Like you meet with your friends once a week, you grab some drinks at BJ's, and you go home. And that's as exciting as it gets in America. So I still like to go to see that, and I still like to come to America to get things done. I like to see what the entrepreneurs are up to here, and I think also, when you learn a skill, you want to learn it in America because if you're considered good in America, you're considered good anywhere in the world. So if you're a good digital marketer in America, that means you're good anywhere in the world. If you're a good programmer, that means you're good anywhere in the world if you're good in America. So I always want to come back to America, but in terms of retiring, I would say Southeast Asia makes a lot more sense because it's cheaper. It's much more social. So on weekdays you can do shit, and it's just a lot more lively. And if you want American friends, there's plenty of white guys in Vietnam and Philippines, so you'll never run out of that. So you always got friends to make, and it's just a cool environment to be in. So yeah, I would retire in Southeast Asia. I'd probably do like a little mini tour around the world. Even go to Africa, like the main cities like Lagos and Rwanda and things like that. But do those kind of things. But I'm not really the type to like go to like those like really sketchy, dark, rural areas where they throw spears at you and shit, like that one Australian guy who got killed. Like I'm not gonna do any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you talking about Sentinel Island? I think that was like in India.
Yeah, the guy off India. Yeah, he tried to like convert them. What an idiot! But
yeah,
yeah, I'm not gonna do any of that kind of stuff.
All right, so let me do this, and I'm gonna take questions from people that I know that have super chatted before. Question: what is one digital marketing book you could recommend to a friend? That's from the Story of the Black Conservative. Thank you so much.
I do not recommend any digital marketing book. If you want to learn digital marketing, I have a whole playlist of testimonials. We kind of talk about digital marketing on my channel, so you can go to it. It's like how I got a job in digital marketing. It's like one of the playlists on my channel, and like that's where you should start your digital marketing journey.
Let me do this. Fredo knows best. What's the easiest job to get online as you live overseas?
Customer service. So life is hard because people are, what's funny? So many times I've seen entrepreneurs or influencers talk on YouTube. All they tell people is just to work harder, which is funny because I think a lot of people actually just work hard. Like a lot of people work hard. Like when I'm in the Philippines, I see people busting their ass off at minimum wage jobs for $300 a month. They're working hard, but they're not making a lot of money. So when people say like, "Oh, just work hard" or some shit like that, it's actually fucking terrible advice. What is more important is like pointing people to the right direction, right? So when you want to work abroad or you want to work remotely and earn money online, and you want to do it like in a job that has like no skills, customer service is the one to do it. Now I know when I say customer service, people get turned off by that because they think, "Oh, I don't want to be a customer service agent or whatever like that." But don't just do customer service for any bullshit kind of company. Do customer service for something that you're interested in, something that you want to learn. So if you want to create a SaaS business one day, do customer service for a SaaS company. So for example, there's ClickFunnels. ClickFunnels is like a very popular, exploding platform to make sales funnels. It's a very useful skill to have because every company needs sales funnels. Do customer service for ClickFunnels. Or do customer service for an email automation company like MailChimp so that you can learn email automation or ActiveCampaign or whatever it may be. Do customer service where we're at that job, you're going to learn skills. The reason I got this idea is because when I worked at an e-commerce company called Bikeberry, half of our e-commerce people or half of our customer service people ended up making their own e-commerce company from the knowledge they just gained from doing customer service. So their customer service job was like their MBA in e-commerce. So you should do the same thing. Get a customer service job in something that you vibe with, something that you'd want to create something similar one day. And that's going to help you a lot. That's going to help you get that first job because customer service has low competition. Nobody wants to do it because it doesn't sound sexy. And then at the same time, you're going to learn a skill a lot while you're doing customer service. Because think about it, if you're answering questions about how to use that platform, how good are you going to get at that platform?
No, that's a really, really good question. So let me see. I think that one is do we have any other ones? Let's see here. All right, listen. That's it. So, Matt, I guess the next question is, I know you're a busy guy, but when can we get you to come back one day?
Whenever, man. Next month, 2 months, whenever's a good break.
All right, next month. So, man, I know a lot of guys were like excited, like they're like, "Oh my god, you got engineered truth on your channel! Oh my god, yeah, bruh. All right, your boy knows some people. You know what I mean? So, I want to thank Matt. Like, you really gave a really good interview, man. Like you're such a talented guy. Some of your videos have been like really, 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 really big, and even the videos are not really big. They're always good, man. Always great. You're just such a knowledgeable person. I'm glad you came over to. Link to the page, hand sanitizer. It's in the description. Okay, let me give you guys a hint. Every time that I have somebody that that comes by, hey, you know the parentheses, that's their name. Like Engineer Truth. Yeah. So if you just Google their name, the link will come up. Like always, like, where's this link to this page? Bruh. Always in the description. Okay.
I love how frustrated you get at people too. I'm the same way. Like when people ask basic questions, it frustrates me.
It's like usually like when I have my guests on or something like that, unless like a business stream, I don't go all the way in. But on other particular, like I will send them to the wall, I cuss them out and shit like that. Sorry, many users don't. Okay, that's the one. There you go, brother. So let me go ahead and help him out. Hold on 1 second. Okay, because you probably a good brother, man. I don't want to cuss you out. I know it's a Friday. Some of y'all just y'all just got paid. Y'all in a good mood, so I don't want to make your weekend shitty. This is what you do right here. That is his link right there. Some people don't know. Now you know. Right there. Boom. I spammed it like 30 fucking times. So go right there. All of you subscribe to the man. Hit the link. Subscribe. And time out, Ryan. Time his ass out. Hold on. Stupid fuck. All right. So anyways. I really thank you for coming on. Anything else you want to say, and I hope you have a really great fight going to the Philippines. Anything else you want to tell the people?
No, I'm just going to remind them. I think the best thing that you can get out of this whole live stream is to go to empireflippers.com and just go through their marketplace, get a sense of what the online business space is really like, because I think when you only learn it from YouTube influencers who are trying to sell you courses about different shit like me, it's a little bit skewed. So I think so go to empireflippers.com to look at real businesses that are for sale. And maybe you're not at a situation where you're going to buy one today, but just to go look, get a sense of what's out there and how this whole world, this hidden world of real online business entrepreneurship works. Go to empireflippers.com. I think it opens up a lot of people's eyes of what's possible. And also I think it makes it more real, because say, for example, you're like, man, I really hate my job. I want to quit. I have $100,000. What do I do? The best thing you could do is buy an online business, not buy a house, because that's going to give you more control over. You have more income coming in than you would buying a house.
Yeah, no, I actually agree. You put me up on some game, and shout out to another one of your fans, man. MG, this conversation was fire. Big fan of Matt's. So, like Zach, everybody knows like this space is, we call it Black YouTube. Like you have like Black Twitter, the Black Internet. So there are spaces like that, and it's surprising, man, like how many people are like so surprised, like number one that you and me know each other and that we're collaborating, like, oh my god, fuck, it's Oshay and Engineer Truth. Oh my god, like it's crazy how many people know who you are, bro. Like you have like a lot of Black fans. You might not know it in comparison to your other groups, but when you come over to like a Black channel like this, and everybody that like, oh my, I know him, I know who he is. It's amazing, man. So you have a huge fan base, man. That's Black, and I don't know if you know that, but a lot of them really do. A lot of people really appreciate you coming over and speaking with us today. So thanks again.
One little thing I wanted to add about that. It's so interesting how your real life personality translates to who you gain as subscribers too. So for me, I have a personality where I do get along with people of other races, and so people see that when they watch my videos, they get a sense of that. Like you can sense I'm not racist toward anybody, right? And so like people are attracted to that. But there's sometimes when you see someone's channel and they're like Asian, but they're like, but by the way they make their content, you could tell they don't like Black people. And like it's like maybe it's not even like the subject that they're talking about, but for whatever reason, it just feels very inclusive. And so it's very interesting that your real life personality is a true reflection of who you attract to watch your stuff. Because if I gave that vibe off, a certain vibe, then I wouldn't have that Black audience that I do. But because I give the audience that vibe that like as long as you have the same mindset to me and you can appreciate where I'm coming from and the help that I'm trying to do and like my angle toward life, if you can see that, no matter like what background you come from, I think we'll get along just fine. And I think the audience sees that. And if I had a very different personality, even if my channel wasn't about being like hardcore conservative Republican, I think like you could even see it in my personality, and then my channel would repel like people who are minorities. To be honest, even if my channel was not about that subject, I think you could see it in my and people could read it. People could read it a little bit between the lines, and they'll be like, yeah, this guy is not really my type. He probably does like minorities and shit like that. And like there's a big difference. And channels like that, they don't build a black audience at all, because they could see it. Like people know, people have a gut reaction to it.
Let me say this: you have black YouTubers that don't build black audiences for that same reason, let alone other races. And that's a whole nother video that many of my people in the
maybe that's the next month. We'll start with that. That's a charged subject.
Yeah. So let me do this. Shout out to Dr. Kenyon Meadows, oncologist. I have a show with him on Sunday. He also has a financial book. Also, he goes, shout out to Engineer Truth, great content. Oshay, me and you on Sunday, and Dr. Kenyon Meadows, oncologist. So he's been on my channel before, so a lot of people know who you are, from a lot of things. So I definitely appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for coming on. Again, have a safe flight, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you next month when you get back.
See you next month, Oshay.
Peace out. Thanks, man.